Divine Revelation, the miraculous 3 steps to manifest your supernatural destiny effortlessly. In the heart of a quaint English village, a muted chapel stood as a vibrant beacon. Resplendent stained glass whispered the tales of saints and miracles, while the air thrummed with unyielding faith. But within the walls of this sacred place, one mother, Sarah, found her heart wrenched in two. Her child, a tiny miracle of life, faced a terminal illness that cast a long shadow over her world. The villagers rallied, holding candlelit vigils and whispering prayers to Saint Jude, the patron saint of hopeless causes. It was a time of hope for some, yet for Sarah, uncertainty gnawed at her faith like a relentless tide. Divine healing is possible, they declared. Outside, skeptics rolled their eyes, urging her to face reality. But within her, an ember flickered a stubborn belief in God's grace. As she knelt in prayer, her voice trembled, echoing through the dim chapel, mingling with the warm glow of flickering candles. She called upon the heavens, pleading fervently for divine intervention. And just when doubt began to creep in, a radiant warmth enveloped her, a supernatural response she could barely comprehend. During a particularly poignant Sunday service, the pastor stepped forward, the anointing in his eyes as bright as the morning sun. In that moment, the very air vibrated, the spirit felt electric. He proclaimed an urgent calling for Sarah: surrender your fears, serve your community in love, and boldly claim the healing of your child. Every word, a footstep along the path toward her miracle. As she sat there, the collective murmurs of the congregation lifted her spirit, weaving together a tapestry of faith and hope that enveloped the chapel. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the days unfolded like the petals of spring blooms, Sarah's resolve began to waver. Medical advice loomed harsh and unyielding, and financial burdens weighed heavy on her heart. Each glimmer of hope was met with shadowy uncertainty, each prayer a plea against the insistent chill of doubt. Sarah wrestled within herself, questioning the very foundation of her beliefs. Every sunset that painted the sky felt like God's promise lost on the winds of despair. Then, in the sanctuary of her garden, vibrant blossoms surrounding her, a divine clarity broke through. She surrendered not just her fears but her very soul, heart ablaze with newfound trust. Peace washed over her like a cool breeze on a stifling day, assuring her of miracles, even amidst her struggles. And then, as if the heavens had finally opened, an inexplicable healing flood coursed through her child, an awakening light that rippled through the village and sent joyous waves of praise soaring into the skies. Here, amidst the echoes of faith, a deeper question arose. What does this miracle mean for Sarah's purpose? As hope blossomed and the village united in celebration, uncertainty and anticipation hung thick in the air. Would this divine act bolster their faith or stir the doubts lurking in the shadows? The tapestry of their lives now intertwined with a powerful story, leaving hearts racing to discover how Sarah's journey would continue. In the aftermath of her child's miraculous healing, a quiet exhilaration wrapped itself around Sarah like a favorite blanket. The village pulsed with joy, every face alight with faith reborn. Yet along with the happiness came an unspoken burden. What now? The very air throbbed with unanswerable questions. The pumps of celebration echoed through the chapel as villagers poured in, their voices weaving harmonious prayers of thanksgiving. Sarah stood by the ornate wooden door, thankful yet fragile, trying to comprehend the weight of the divine favor she had just witnessed. The chapel's atmosphere was thick with love, drawing Sarah into a warm embrace. But now, when she looked at the stained glass, vibrant colors danced like a kaleidoscope of hope. Sarah, the story must go on. Her closest friend, Eleanor, exclaimed, bursting into her thoughts. Your journey is only beginning. Eleanor's words hung in the air, heavy with implication. Sarah knew that a significant calling had been bestowed upon her, yet the enormity left her breathless, seated in the familiar chapel pew, her heart raced with anticipation. Her thoughts began to drift. What was this divine healing meant to teach her? How could she move forward without falling prey to doubts that had once consumed her? These were questions bathed in a thick haze of fear and curiosity. Her eyes fell upon the flickering candles, tiny flames standing resolute against the encroaching darkness. As she surrendered her doubts again, a calm surged through her, stirring like the gentle waves upon a shore. The pastor's voice floated back into her consciousness, urging her to serve her community. Rooted in love, as Christ demonstrated, she felt a rekindling of purpose blossom within her. Could her newfound strength echo through the village? Could her story set others free from shackles of despair? Drawing in a deep breath, Sarah decided a new chapter must be embraced. She began organizing gatherings at the chapel, inviting those who had once whispered prayers into the flickering night, offering them a space to share their own burdens. One by one, weary souls arrived, their eyes shadowed by the weight of their struggles. Through her testimony, she translated her experience into hope, igniting sparks of faith with every word. Miracles do happen, Sarah told them, the joy of her healed child glowing on her face. As she exalted the power of prayer, she caught sight of the disbelief etched on some faces, a contrast to the joy that bloomed in the hearts of others. In that moment, she thought of Jesus and how some marveled while others doubted, just as she had, weeks past, each meeting unearthing stones of despair to be cast away as Sarah encouraged others to believe. Laughter mingled with tears, encouragement born from shared pain. The chapel filled each week. Thanks to her devout patience, she saw these souls weave their stories into a beautiful tapestry. Each hesses of faith was a light illuminating the road, a divine path crafted in love, but soon, a day came when a shadow fell upon their flame. One of her dearest attendees, old Mrs. Mabel, fell gravely ill. Sarah's heart twisted as she remembered the healing she had witnessed in her own child. Now, her faith felt threatened, the very foundations shaking beneath her. Could her shared purpose withstand the test of another loss? Would her faith hold firm in the face of this new trial? With questions echoing inside her, Sarah found herself once again in the chapel, seeking solace and clarity. She knelt down, feeling the coolness of the stone pressing against her palms. The serene ambience grew thick with expectation. How would the story unfold now, when all hope felt so fragile? The mysterious journey with God had only just begun. The chapel's silence wrapped itself around Sarah as she knelt, seeking the divine whispers in her heart. The weight of Mrs. Mabel's illness felt heavy, an anchor threatening to pull her faith down into despair. She inhaled deeply, allowing the stillness to fill her lungs, igniting a flicker of hope deep within. There, in that sacred space, she felt the gentle touch of God's presence, soft, yet powerful. "Why, Lord?" she murmured, tears gathering in her eyes. "Why must I face this after witnessing such a miracle? How can I be a source of hope for others when my heart is shadowed by fear?" Just then, a small, warm light flickered in her mind, a memory of her child's laughter, the joy that had erupted so unexpectedly. It was as if the wind itself whispered back to her, fueling the embers of her being. "This is not the end. It is merely a new beginning," it seemed to say. Rising from her knees, Sarah felt a renewed sense of purpose propelling her forward. She gathered her thoughts, channeling her love for Mrs. Mabel. Perhaps, just perhaps, God had a lesson to teach them all through this moment of darkness. The gospel stories danced in her mind, tales of hope and healing like the woman who touched Jesus' cloak and was made whole. That evening, a gathering was planned in the chapel. Sarah invited the villagers, whispering fervent prayers for courage to flow through her and her community. As families filed into the warm, welcoming space, hugs and greetings mingled with the soft murmur of prayer, creating an air pregnant with expectation. "Tonight, we lean into faith together," Sarah began, her voice steady yet warm. "As we pray for Mrs. Mabel, let us remember the power of our collective hope. Let us remember the miracles we have witnessed." One by one, the villagers responded, hearts synchronized like a choir. They prayed earnestly, hands joined, voices rising in strength. Sarah led with confidence, her faith igniting the spirits around her. God loves us fiercely, especially in our trials. He doesn't abandon us, He walks beside us, even in the deepest valleys. Amid the prayers, she felt a spirit of unity enveloping them. There were moments of doubt, a collective sigh of worry, but they prayed on. With each prayer, Sarah felt the fear dissipate as love and faith blossomed within her. As the night progressed, whispers of healing floated among them. She shared stories of faith, of those who had overcome insurmountable odds, of love that conquered death. The energy shifted, shadows began to lift. Hope became the dominating force, pushing fear aside. Remember that every miracle starts with belief. We are more than conquerors, she declared passionately. Laughter and sighs of relief punctuated her message, wrapping around the gathered crowd like a sacred blanket, and deep within her, she felt it the stirring of a divine promise. As they concluded, the villagers dispersed with hearts ignited, whispering prayers for Mrs. Mabel into the crisp night air, but just as she turned to leave, a familiar voice called from behind her. It was Eleanor, her eyes shining with a mixture of excitement and concern. "Sarah, I've just had a revelation. I think God is preparing something extraordinary. We need to share this. It involves all of us." Sarah's heart trembled with anticipation. What could it be? What new purpose lay ahead? She could hardly contain her curiosity as their shared faith echoed in the stillness. As she stared into Eleanor's eager eyes, Sarah felt a nudge in her spirit. The journey was far from over. A divine chapter was unfolding. What awaited her now? Would it light the path for others, too? Eleanor grabbed Sarah's hand, her grip firm yet comforting. "You won't believe this, Sarah." It was as if the very air buzzed with energy while I was praying. God showed me something about the power we hold. It's much greater than we realize. Intrigued, Sarah leaned closer, her heart quickening. "What did he show you?" Eleanor took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. "I saw 3 steps, clear as day. It's like a blueprint for our community. We're meant to do more than just support Mrs. Mabel. We're being called to influence our surroundings, to embrace our divine destiny together." The idea sank into Sarah's heart, wrapping it in warmth. "What are these steps?" she asked eagerly, wanting to grasp every word. "First," Eleanor began, her excitement palpable, "we must love without limits. Look at how we gathered tonight, every hand joined in prayer. That's how powerful love can be. When we love freely, God's Spirit flows freely among us." "Absolutely," Sarah nodded, imagining that overflowing love, its healing power radiating. She felt the truth of it. Love was the heartbeat of their faith. "Next," Eleanor continued, "we must speak life into each other. Our words have so much weight. Remember how you lifted our spirits tonight? If we speak words of hope and affirmation, we ignite the fire of faith in one another." "Yes," Sarah exclaimed. "Life and death are in the power of the tongue. We must choose our words wisely." Eleanor smiled, encouraged by Sarah's enthusiasm. "Finally, the 3rd step is action. Faith without works is dead. We must find ways to serve our community, to show that love isn't just spoken, it's lived out." The intensity in the chapel grew as Sarah and Eleanor spoke, the people returning in curiosity, drawn in by the fervor of their conversation. Soon, others began to gather around them, eager to listen. Sarah saw their faces glowing, hope radiating as the words sank in. "Let us not just speak about faith," Sarah proclaimed. "Let us be its hands and feet. Imagine what we could do together, visiting Mrs. Mabel, organizing meals, or simply sharing our stories of faith to inspire one another." A ripple of excitement flowed through the group. People exchanged glances, and Sarah could see the flickers of inspiration igniting in their hearts. She could feel it too, a fervor unfurling within her like petals of a flower in bloom. The warmth was palpable now, a tangible presence of divine affirmation. Laughing children, elderly veterans of faith, single mothers, and young couples stood together, united. Voices began to echo her vision, stepping bravely into the light of possibility. But what God had not yet revealed, a voice suddenly interjected, cutting through the buzzing excitement. It was Gideon, an older gentleman known for his wisdom in faith. "We have to be prepared for the challenges this may bring. Not everyone responds with open hearts." His words hung in the air, heavy with truth. Sarah paused, the weight of his wisdom settling into her spirit. She hadn't considered that their growth could evoke resistance or doubt, yet as she gazed at the faces around her, she could only see love, hope, and determination. "And that's okay," she answered resolutely. "We can face those challenges together. If we remain rooted in love, speak life, and act boldly, no darkness can overcome us." A wave of agreement washed over the crowd. Echoes of amen and murmurs of affirmation created a harmonious symphony of faith building with each passing moment. As night deepened outside, the chapel shone brightly, a beacon of hope in the quiet village. The energy was palpable, something extraordinary was brewing, a moment pregnant with potential. "Tomorrow," Sarah declared, gathering her courage, "we start living out these steps. Together, we can embrace our destiny." Before they could respond, an unexpected sound caused everyone to turn. A soft rustling from the corner of the room silenced the gathering. What was that? A corner of the chapel seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly glow. A warmth enveloped them. Could it be a sign? As Sarah prepared to investigate, a whisper danced through her heart. Something divine awaited their response. What lay ahead? Only time would reveal the unfolding path of their collective journey. The stillness settled over the chapel like a comforting blanket, wrapping everyone in an expectant silence. Sarah felt the pulse of her heart quicken. The soft rustling continued, a gentle reminder that something significant was about to unfold. Cautiously, she approached the source of the sound, her curiosity igniting a flicker of excitement within her. Eleanor followed closely, sensing the weight of anticipation in the air. The glow in the corner dimly illuminated faces filled with wonder. As the two women drew nearer, they saw it a small, delicate feather, radiant and shimmering, laid gently on the wooden floor. "Oh! Look at that!" Eleanor breathed, her eyes wide with amazement. "It's beautiful." Sarah knelt to pick it up. As her fingers touched the feather, a sudden warmth spread through her, enveloping her heart with a soothing peace. "It feels holy," she murmured, feeling the gentle presence of something far greater. The room seemed to hold its breath, waiting, as the others gathered around them. Whispered conversations buzzed like the soft hum of bees, each person caught in the wonder of the moment. Gideon stepped forward, eyes gleaming with insight. "A feather like this is often a sign of divine protection, an invitation to seek deeper connections with the heavenly." Hope glimmered in Sarah's eyes. She remembered her grandmother telling stories about feathers as symbols of angels' presence. Could it be that God was affirming their call to service, nudging them toward their destiny? Maybe it's encouraging us. Eleanor's voice was steady, laced with reverence. "We are not alone in this journey. Our faith, combined with love and action, attracts divine attention." Gideon nodded, an approving smile crossing his weathered face. "Indeed, it seems to echo the very call you two just spoke about. It reminds us that we have the power to influence the environment around us, to become instruments of change." Sarah's heart swelled with divine purpose. A spark of realization ignited within her. Let us not keep this moment to ourselves. Let us share this sign, draw everyone into its warmth and glory. As if summoned by her faith, laughter and chatter sprung to life among the crowd. A sense of community blossomed, the shared energy stirring spirits. Elders nodded, hands clasped tightly, while children giggled and knelt down to inspect the feather, marveling at its delicate beauty. What if we took this feather to each home in the village, as a reminder that love and faith are always present? Eleanor suggested, her excitement contagious. It'll be a call to arms for our action steps. Yes. The crowd echoed, excitement bubbling as they pondered the many ways they could share hope and love. Ideas flowed freely like a fast-moving river, dream catchers made from the feather, notes of encouragement tied with string, or meals carried from door to door, all infused with the essence of the promise within that feather, yet beneath the exhilaration lay shadows of doubt. What if the community resisted? What if their enthusiasm was met with indifference? The faces of a few unconvinced members floated into Sarah's mind. A chill raced down her spine, but she stilled it with a heartbeat of prayer. Stepping forward, she spoke with conviction, "We must remember what's at stake, lives changed for His glory. And even if there's resistance, we have each other and the love that binds us. The chapel erupted in fervent agreement, hearts beating as one. As the night wore on, the glow of the chapel shone even brighter, fueled by the shared hopes and dreams. Laughter, joy, and purpose intertwined, extending beyond the wooden beams toward the dimly lit village. Yet, a new question arose in the depths of Sarah's spirit. Were they truly ready for the trials ahead, the moments that would test their faith? Suddenly, the feather fluttered from Sarah's hand, lightly caught by the evening breeze. It danced towards the flickering candlelight, shimmering with a life of its own. And in that fragile moment, Sarah understood they were only at the beginning of their adventure, with surprises yet to come. What other wonders awaited them in their story? With open hearts and spirits poised for divine guidance, they stood at the brink, ready to embrace the miraculous journey ahead. The feather floated gently through the air, almost as if it were leading them into the unknown. Sarah watched, heart racing, as it landed softly on the altar, settled among the flickering candles. A hush fell over the gathering once more. All eyes turned to it, a symbol of hope, of a journey that had barely begun. The air thickened with promise and prayer. Sarah felt a stirring in her soul, as if God Himself were weaving their lives together into a tapestry of purpose. Eleanor stepped forward, glancing at the feather before addressing the crowd, her voice rich with passion. This feather is more than just a sign, it's a call to action. Let us not just take it to homes, but let us invite each person to share their story to find their own feather within. The idea ignited a spark. Seniors nodded in agreement, recalling their own moments of divine whispers. Young ones leaned closer, eager to join in the adventure. It was more than just a feather now, it was an awakening, an invitation to experience God's love not only in the chapel, but in every corner of their lives. With a renewed sense of purpose, Sarah felt that familiar tingle of excitement surge through her. What if we set up small gatherings? Places where we can come together, share our hearts, and pray for each other? Each home could become a beacon of love. The crowd erupted in eager chatter and anticipation. Hands were raised with ideas flying like the glittering stars overhead. A sense of unity blossomed, fueling their faith. Dreams of small groups gathering for prayer, sharing meals, and directly serving their neighbors filled the room with light. Yet, beneath the surface, a flicker of fear lingered. What if they failed? What if the neighbor closed their doors, eyes blind to the hope they spurred? Gideon, sensing the tension, raised his hand for silence. His face wore the wisdom of experience. Fear is a distraction. We must step out in faith. Remember, it was not easy for Christ, but He persisted, and through His love, miracles came. His words resonated deeply, breaking through the shrouds of doubt. Sarah's heart swelled with determination. Right. We are here for a reason. Remember when David faced Goliath? With faith, he stepped forward, not intimidated by the giant before him. We can do the same. Inspired, the congregation began sharing their own stories of overcoming obstacles, of facing fears head-on. Each testimony was a feather, lighting the path toward the extraordinary. Laughter turned to tears, hearts began to knit closer together. Daring faith sparked new possibilities, blessings shared over the hushed whispers and excited gasps. Just then, a gentle breeze swept through the open windows, curling around them like an embrace. A soft glow illuminated the feather once more. It glinted in the candlelight, casting shadowy shapes on the wall. Sarah stood mesmerized, entranced by its ethereal beauty. She felt the warmth of a presence, as if the Holy Spirit were urging them forward. Let us gather here every week, Sarah suggested boldly. Let us call it Feather Nights. We can remind each other of our purpose and find strength in prayer. A wave of approval washed through the room. The idea took root, nourished by their excitement and dreams. But as they finalized their plans, an unsettling thought crossed Sarah's mind. Was their unity strong enough to withstand the challenges ahead? Before she could voice her concern, Eleanor squeezed her hand, eyes sparkling. We have each other. And we have God. Isn't that all we need? The room erupted in laughter and prayer, hearts intertwined in divine love. They were stepping forward together, not empty, but filled to overflowing with purpose. As they closed the meeting in prayer, Sarah's mind drifted back to the feather, the sparkle it held, and the journey laid ahead. The collective faith they had ignited felt powerful. But like the feather that danced freely, they were about to embark into a wild adventure. The warmth of uncertainty and hope mingled together, and beneath it all, an essence of the miraculous awaited what would unfold. In the days to come, what tests lay beyond this beautiful beginning? Sarah awoke the next morning with the golden sunshine spilling through her window, casting warm rays across her room. She stretched and took a deep breath, feeling the promise of a new day unfolding before her. Memories of the previous night's gathering flooded her mind, faces lit with joy, stories shared, and the tangible energy of faith pulsing in the air. With renewed vigor, she sat up and opened her window, letting the fresh air rush in, mingling with the incense of her morning coffee. What awaits today? She wondered. The thought raced through her. It felt as if the feather's brightness had imprinted itself on her heart, urging her onward. After breakfast, she decided to visit Mrs. Thompson, a sweet older lady in the neighborhood whom Sarah knew had a wealth of stories but often kept her door closed. Today is the day, she whispered to herself. Today, I'll share the light. As Sarah approached Mrs. Thompson's quaint little house, self-doubt began to creep in. What if Mrs. Thompson didn't want to talk? What if it was awkward? But then she recalled Gideon's words about fear. Fear is a distraction. She exhaled slowly, tilting her chin up slightly. I'm not here for myself, I'm here for her. Knocking lightly, Sarah waited, her heart drumming softly against her chest. Moments later, the door creaked open, revealing a blinking Mrs. Thompson, her silver hair tousled, eyes widening with surprise. Oh my dear, Sarah. What a lovely surprise. Good morning, Mrs. Thompson. I wanted to see if we could chat over tea, Sarah said, her voice steady, filled with enthusiasm. Oh, of course. Come in. Mrs. Thompson ushered her inside, warmth radiating from every corner of the room. The fragrant scent of freshly baked cookies wafted through the air, inviting. They settled at the kitchen table, where golden rays streamed through the window, illuminating the mismatched china. As they poured tea, Sarah gently broached the topic of feather nights. We're trying to create a space for sharing our stories and praying together. It could be a beautiful way to connect with each other, she explained, the excitement bubbling in her chest. Mrs. Thompson's expression softened, and like a dam breaking, stories began to pour forth: the loss of her husband, the loneliness that sometimes wrapped around her like a heavy blanket, and the little miracles that kept her moving forward. I remember one night, all alone, wondering how I'd get through. And then, the phone rang. It was an old friend. Just when I needed a reminder that love prevails, Mrs. Thompson reflected, tears glistening in her eyes. Sarah felt the sacredness of that moment, the bond strengthening between them. As the afternoon turned into evening, Sarah found herself sharing her own stories too: the fears she faced, the struggles she overcame, and the beautiful hope that filled her heart after feather nights. They laughed, wiped away tears, and prayed together. The sacredness of their shared journeys wove a thread of connection more profound than both had expected. When she finally left Mrs. Thompson's home, Sarah felt a spring in her step. They had gone deeper than tea and cookies, they had tasted the shared grace of God. Together, they embraced vulnerability and allowed their faith to flourish. Driving home, she couldn't help but smile, imagining how similar moments would unfold around her community. But what would she encounter next? Would others be as open, as hungry for connection? As twilight draped itself in hues of purple and gold, returning home, Sarah glanced at the feather that still sat upon her altar. Its soft glint anchored her thoughts. What is my next step, Lord? She whispered, her heart open to divine guidance. Little did she know, a journey was beginning that would challenge everything she thought she knew about faith, love, and the power of community. What signs were waiting to be revealed in the days ahead? How far would she need to go to unlock the divine tapestry being woven around her? The next day dawned bright and clear, painting the sky in soft shades of azure. Sarah woke up with an eagerness pulsing through her veins. She felt a gentle prompting in her spirit, urging her to reach out further in her community. The connection she had made with Mrs. Thompson brought warmth to her heart, and she was ready to explore the possibility of more encounters that could illuminate the lives of others. After a quick breakfast and a fervent prayer for guidance, Sarah decided to visit the local community center. What better place to find people in need of connection? As she stepped into the familiar building, a wave of nostalgia washed over her. The walls echoed with laughter, and cheerful voices drifted from various rooms. She took a moment to gather her thoughts, seeking not just to participate but to be a vessel of light. With intention, Sarah wandered to the art room where a group of seniors was working on a mural. The vibrant colors danced in the sunlight, each stroke telling a story of joy and perseverance. As she entered, a friendly face turned to greet her. "Sarah! How wonderful to see you!" It was Mr. Jenkins, a jovial man with twinkling eyes. "Hello, Mr. Jenkins. What a beautiful project you're all working on," she replied, admiration evident in her tone. "This mural is about our dreams." "Each of us shared our hopes," Mr. Jenkins explained, his voice brimming with pride. Intrigued, Sarah asked, "What's your dream, Mr. Jenkins?" With a thoughtful pause, he replied, "I dream of a world where everyone feels seen and heard. Where love births understanding." His words struck a chord within her, reminding her of the essence of their feather nights. Encouraged by this exchange, Sarah sat with them, listening to their dreams and sharing her own motivations for the upcoming gatherings. Each story rekindled a spark, laughter erupted between them as memories were shared. Small acts of kindness began to unfold, and in that moment, Sarah felt the tapestry of community weaving tighter. Then, a younger woman named Emily wandered into the room, hesitating at the entrance. She appeared shy, clutching a sketch pad close to her heart. Sarah sensed something deeper within her. Stepping forward, she asked gently, "Would you like to join us?" Emily's eyes flickered with uncertainty. "I don't really belong here, but belonging starts with connection," Sarah encouraged. "What's on your mind?" As Emily shared her struggle with fear and self-doubt, Sarah leaned in, remembering her own earlier days of trepidation. She reflected on how sharing one's light can dispel the shadow of isolation. "It's okay to feel afraid. We all do at times. But we are stronger together, and your creativity deserves to shine," she assured Emily softly. Moved by Sarah's words, Emily began to open up, revealing her passion for art and stories. Sarah invited her to contribute to the mural. "Let's paint our dreams together. It will echo love and hope." The camaraderie continued to grow, and soon, more people trickled in, drawn to the welcoming atmosphere. They became a tapestry of backgrounds and experiences, leaving behind their burdens in exchange for connection. Sarah stepped back, deeply aware of the divine nature of this moment. Each brushstroke on the mural became a sacred symbol of their shared faith, hope, and dreams. As the afternoon light shifted, casting a golden hue over the art being created, Sarah knew this day was just the beginning. There was something powerful brewing in their collective vulnerability, a divine invitation waiting to be embraced. But just as she felt the gentle push of revelation, a thought struck her, a question swirling like a breeze. How far does this journey of light go, Lord? What awaits beyond this mural? A flutter of excitement edged through her, prelude to a divine unfolding she could hardly comprehend. As the sun dipped lower, a serene warmth enveloped the community center. Sarah's heart swelled as laughter and conversation poured forth from the art room. Each smile shared among them was a testament to how connection could foster growth and healing. She glanced around at the colorful mural, each stroke vibrant with hope. She realized they were not just painting a wall, they were crafting a legacy, a story that would ripple through the very fabric of their community. "Let's take a step back," Mr. Jenkins announced, urging everyone to pause. "I think it's time we admire our progress." They gathered around, faces illuminated by the hues of the mural, their hearts intertwining in this sacred moment. Sarah felt a swell of gratitude for each person who felt inspired to join them. It was as if the Lord was stitching their stories together, each thread a reminder that they were never meant to walk alone. "What a beautiful tapestry of dreams," Emily whispered, her voice full of awe. "Yes, a tapestry woven by our hearts," Sarah agreed. She took a moment to absorb the vibrant energy bubbling around her. There, amidst shared hopes, she recognized something divine. It was as if God was present, whispering promises of new beginnings to each of them. Just then, the door swung open, and in walked a figure they hadn't seen before. He was tall and seemed to carry a gentle aura of calm. "Hi there. I'm David," he introduced himself. "I heard about the mural and the gathering. I wanted to see what it was all about." With eyes sparkling with curiosity, Sarah felt an immediate kinship with David. "Join us. We're just celebrating the dreams we've painted together," she invited, motioning him closer. As David approached, Sarah felt the atmosphere shift slightly, a subtle ripple of expectation filling the air. "You know," he began, "I've been yearning for a community like this. A place where I can share my struggles and dreams without fear." His sincerity echoed the sentiments they had all expressed. It was a reflection of the deeper longing that stirred in each of their hearts. Sarah nodded. "You've come to the right place. We're all a bit broken, but together we heal." They all shared their stories, vulnerabilities mingling with aspirations. Each one revealed a piece of their soul, creating an unbreakable bond. Sarah noticed how David was particularly moved by Emily's story of overcoming her fears. It was a moment of divine intersection that felt orchestrated by a higher hand. "I think we should extend an invitation to others," Sarah proposed, her voice brimming with excitement. "Let us host an open art session next week. We can share our mural and our stories with the community." The group erupted with applause and agreement. Each of them recognized the power in extending their light to those still hidden in shadows. Just then, a quiet voice emerged from the back of the room. It was an elderly woman named Mrs. Eaton, whom Sarah had seen but hadn't spoken to yet. "Forgive me if I'm being too bold, but I have a vision for this mural, a theme of unity and love bridging generations." Her eyes sparkled with wisdom. "The world may seem dark sometimes, but art can lift spirits and bring hope like nothing else." The sincerity of her words struck a chord within Sarah's heart. "Yes. Let us ensure our mural speaks of unity," she exclaimed, feeling a surge of purpose wash over her. As they aligned their intentions, she felt an unmistakable presence, as if heaven leaned in to witness this pivotal moment. It dawned on Sarah that they were not just creating art, they were birthing a new narrative for their community, one built on compassion and understanding. But amid this sweet revelation, a new question emerged in Sarah's heart. What else might be needed, Lord? How can we carry this message beyond these walls? With that thought lingering in the air, the promise of tomorrow shimmered on the horizon, waiting to unfold. As dawn broke over the village, a golden light streamed through the chapel windows, bathing Sarah in warmth. She felt invigorated, her heart and spirit now echoing the miracles she had witnessed. The feather remained a potent symbol of divine connection, a reminder that their path was illuminated by love and faith. Sarah gathered the vibrant community that had blossomed around her. As they took their seats, the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation like the gentle hum of a choir eager to sing. Eleanor stood next to her, nodding with excitement. "Today is the day our dreams take flight," she proclaimed, and cheers erupted around them. They had invited every neighbor, friend, and family member, and the chapel brimmed with faces eager to embrace the possibilities. Sarah felt the palpable energy and knew they were on the cusp of something extraordinary. She cleared her throat, beckoning silence, and her voice rang out clear and bright. "We have spent weeks nurturing a sacred mission in our hearts. Today, we will invite the whole village to join us." Expressions of curiosity flitted through the crowd like fluttering wings. "This community must feel the love and creativity that bind us together. Let us show them what happens when unity takes center stage." Her heart raced at the thought. They were not simply presenting art, they were giving life to hope. As she spoke, memories of her struggles flickered across her mind, the long nights filled with tearful prayers, the moments when despair threatened to engulf her. But now, light radiated through her, illuminating not just her journey, but the journeys of those surrounding her. Mutual struggles and dreams wove into a tapestry of strength. "We will share this mural we've painted," Sarah continued. "Each brushstroke tells a story, and now it's time to open our doors and invite others to add their dreams too." The crowd erupted in applause, a whirlwind of excitement twirling through the chapel. They weren't just painting a mural, they were inviting a movement. Plans sprang forth, bubbling up like a fount. The group agreed on inviting local artisans, musicians, and storytellers to participate. The uniqueness of each person would blend into a beautiful expression of their united spirit. A festival of connection would showcase their shared stories, filled with laughter and light. "Let us sing." A voice chimed from the back, and melodies soon filled the air, wrapping around them like a gentle embrace. Sarah closed her eyes, delighted by this harmonious expression of faith. Joy rolled through her heart like a wave, covering every doubt with the certainty of God's provision. Yet, as enthusiasm coursed through the chapel, an inner voice whispered a question: will everyone embrace this warmth? What if not all respond? She took a deep breath, undeterred. We must race forward with faith, holding hands even when faced with uncertainty. Just then, a soft knock echoed at the chapel door, pulling everyone's attention. Sarah saw Mrs. Thompson peering in, her eyes wide with a mix of hope and trepidation. Seeing her shy smile, Sarah gestured warmly, inviting her in. "Join us. We'd love for you to share in this wonderful dream." As the older woman stepped into the embrace of community, the outpouring of gratitude was palpable. This corner of the village had once echoed with loneliness. Now, laughter and joy entwined with purpose. Sarah's heart swelled, realizing that they were on the brink of a profound revelation. No one was to walk alone here. Days rolled forth, and the festival shimmered on the horizon like a precious gem. Excitement filled the air as locals collaborated, hands meeting canvases, voices rising together in prayer and song. The mural began to take form on the chapel wall, a breathtaking expression of stories, dreams, and love. But in the quiet of night, while some rested, Sarah knelt at the altar, a pebble of concern nestled in her heart. "Lord," she whispered, "let me not stray from your path. Why does this still feel daunting?" As she prayed, warm peace washed over her, cocooning her in reassurance. "Trust in me," the Spirit seemed to say, filling the room with divine warmth. The day of the festival arrived, bursting forth with radiant light. Villagers gathered, their hearts eager to share in a tapestry woven from threads of hope. Laughter danced in the air, sprinkled with the scent of fresh baked goods and blooming flowers. As crowds flowed into the chapel grounds, anticipation crackled like static electricity. Sarah stood amid the chatter, feeling duration punctuating every word. The joyous expressions blended into a resonant symphony, a living testament to the power of community anchored in divine promise. The mural, now complete, stood as a vibrant illustration against the chapel's stone walls, a visual prayer to behold. As she addressed the group, a tidal wave of faith surged through her. "Look at what we've created together. We've shared laughter, pain, and dreams. Let this mural speak of unity, love, and the strength of God among us." Tears of joy mingled with laughter as each person stepped forward to place their hand on the mural, offering their dreams or challenges. The collective energy swelled, profound and unshakable. In that moment, Sarah recognized her true calling, not just a healer, but a catalyst for others to find their wings. "We are a community of feathers," she declared, her voice rising, matching the spirit of the chapel, bound by love and lifted by faith. And as they joined in sacred harmony, something clicked into place, a divine connection that rippled through the hearts of all present. This was more than a gathering, it was an awakening. As the sun sank beyond the horizon, an inexplicable peace warmed their souls. They had stepped into a powerful new chapter, weaving together their destinies, loving boldly, and believing fervently. In unison, they bombarded the heavens with praise and gratitude, fully embracing their collective journey, knowing that nothing could extinguish the love they had ignited. So many stories awaited, adventures on the edge of divine manifestation. They would go forth, carrying hope into every corner, wrapped in their unity, cloaked in love eternal, and amid the gentle fluttering of the leaves outside, a feather danced in the wind, a reminder of their shared purpose, a whisper from heaven that summoned them onward. Sarah smiled, emboldened by the journey they had embarked upon together. Now was the time to spread their wings, to soar into the beauty of divine connection, unafraid, emboldened, and filled with inexhaustible love. And dear friends, we wrap up this powerful story of faith and community, urging you all to take a moment of action. You need to subscribe now to the channel so you don't miss these exclusive faith stories. Leave a like right now, it feeds the algorithm and spreads hope far and wide. Comment below with your reactions or personal testimonies about this incredible journey. And don't wait even one more second, share this video with at least 5 friends in need of divine encouragement. Together, let's amplify the message of God's endless love.